Dear conference delegates, I am really very happy to introduce you with my and Professor Māra Vidnere topic, Forgotten Humanism in the Development of Inclusive Education in Latvia. About a research problem, it's a very complicated problem in Latvia. And the main research question is, what are the main problems for inclusive education to be effectively implemented? Of course, the main problems faced in the context of inclusive education in Latvia, and they are necessary to promote cooperation between teachers, students, and of course, parents, as well as to educate society to dispel the negative attitude towards the other. As students with special needs, by providing recommendations and implementing the skills necessary for the inclusive of students in classes. It is very important that all students have right to equal access to appropriate education and integrated lifestyle of their choice. The goal and direction of education activity on the one hand and on the other hand, education together, different nationalities and subcultures, is the inclusion of the entire educational process. The problem is no longer attributed to the individual, but the educational environment itself investigates the causes and seeks humane solutions. And it is the reason that the main keywords for our topic is inclusive education, forgotten humanism, teachers' professionalism, special needs, life goals, and learning disabilities. Literature review theory bases are uses a humanistic approach and personality development in the perspective of holistic development, and based on Adler, Armstrong, Allport, Burns, Dilthey, Rogers, Maslow, Sunderland, Singer, Sartre, and other humanists, as well as based on the understanding and evidence of the holistic paradigm and spirituality, Jung, Emmons, Vidnere, Zohara, Wilinski, and etc. About scientific methods in our research, qualitative and quantitative methods. Qualitative methods were used in the study to analyze the necessity and positive results of the realization of humanistic orientations observed in the long term. Quantitative methods were used for two groups of respondents. For a comparative analysis of life goals and values for young people with and without special needs. Also, certain surveys were used for social workers and educators, survey of life gardeners, Madli Vidnere, and the spiritual assessment scale. The next, I'd like you to introduce about quantitative research method. Between July 31, 2019 and July 31, 2023, the Jurmala Inclusive Educational Development Center were visited by 323 students of Russian nationality and 404 Latvian nationality students, and only one of another nationality. And we work together with teachers, with parents and educators, and support personality to improve the situation in city Jūrmala. To understand the self-assessment and life goals of students with special needs, a study of their attitudes, objectives, and situations was conducted. Surveys were carried out among 150 adolescents without special needs and 143 students with special needs, aged 13 till 17, using the adolescent self-concept scale by Hoffman, Bate, Hertz. This survey includes 5 answer categories, ranging from 1 strongly disagree to 5 strongly agree, covering attitudes towards family, profession, choice, life, religion, peer relationship, and self. Another survey, life goals and behavioral intentions questionnaire, Ingledew and Ferguson and Markland also utilizes 5 answer categories and is aimed at assessing and comparing the life goals, behavioral intentions, appearance, and health among adolescents with and without special needs, including goals related to fame, appearance, wealth, community, relationships with development, health, motives for improving appearance, social conformity, enhancing well-being, protecting from social pressure, and maintaining and protecting health. About our research among students with and without special needs. Key differences in attitudes and life goal choices between adolescents with and without special needs were noted. Analysis of questions related to life goals for wealth shows that for students with special needs, goals related to material needs are very important. Over 80% of students with special needs believe that they more frequently face material problems and that material support could help solve their life challenges. Life goals focused on the common good of society indicate a desire to help people in need without expecting anything in return, as well as to work towards making the world a better place and improving others' life. It can be concluded that students with special needs also possess a marked tendency to offer help to others and contribute to social welfare. The responses reflect the students' inability to see their life purpose, accept themselves, and affirm their place in society. This issue also has a social basis, the failure to provide the necessary support for their further personal development. In summarizing the response from adolescents with and without special needs, within the framework of the self-concept test, it can be concluded that students from both groups sometimes do not understand their parents' expectations. Yes, they all feel good in their families, contemplate their career choices, have generally had a good childhood, are overall satisfied with themselves, possess many positive qualities, consider themselves equal to others sometimes, lack self-respect, and are generally content with themselves. This key self-concept aspects among students with and without special needs, despite the generally favorable attitude towards people with special needs in surveys. Society as a whole faces problems with ethical collaboration and psychologically positive orientation, which limits the adequate formation of self-concept and life goals of students, including adolescents, and their integration into general education, schools, and society at large. Society's misunderstanding and differentiated attitude are obstacles that students, when living in conditions suitable to their abilities, can become creators of significant value for society, not just consumers. Therefore, like any country, Latvia must strive to do everything possible to enable these students to fully integrate and realize their social potential in society. And you see in this first scale that students with special needs, its desire to dominate others, it's more higher. And it's more higher, I can do what others do. It's more higher, yeah. And I have something to be proud of. It's more higher. It's only a conclusion. We can say that students with special needs think so stressful about their future, and they'd like to make their future more deeply interest how to improve it. Bibliography in our research were so many Greek authors, as you see, and other authors from other countries, and you will see it in our bibliography in our paper. What about conclusion? A conclusion about successfully address support measures for student inclusion, we must learn to develop humane and robust support policies to change and evaluate inclusive education. When reviewing special education programs, they need to be flexible enough to meet the diverse needs of students. Special attention should be given to the compensatory talents and potential of students with special needs, to their giftedness, not just focusing on diagnosing their disabilities. New and appropriate special education programs for students with special needs must be expanded and created so that they can obtain not only basic education and learn a very narrow specialization, but also choose to continue their education according to their abilities in colleges and higher education establishments. Effective results in inclusive education are based on the collaboration between the teacher, special and social educator, clinical health psychologist, speech therapist, medical professional, parent, guardian, and student with special needs, setting common goals and tasks and creating an individual support plan. The operation of inclusive education centers reflected in the contribution as Jurmala Education Development Center work analyzes and achieved work results helps to ensure these goals. The main challenge for educators' personalities in implementing the humane paradigm in the modern education system is not only to understand the necessity of developing humane principles, but also to be knowledgeable and psychologically strong in their implementation. Therefore, the personal characteristics of the educator, professional identity and professional competence become important. Thank you for your attention, and please some question to me. and I am waiting for your reflection. Thank you a lot.